do more writing. So I decided, let me pick something I'm interested in, and it was also probably an opportunity to learn. Because my pal and I discussed it. My pal Abner, the one we started the thing with, we'd all just come out of campus, and we wanted to say blow off a little steam or do a bit of self discovery. So we decided, well, let's try out this thing. Both of us knew Chief at the time, so Chief was doing some gigs in town once a year. So one the gig was called Ward 7. So 2014, we headed out sometime late at night, and we went for our first real, I could say real rock gig. So then we said, um, at the time the column on Nation had stopped running, so there wasn't anyone covering rock content, and we also didn't feel that there was we were getting the full breadth of what the content entails. There wasn't much. You you never knew anything about the bands. You only had the artists' names here and there. You never knew much about what their music was on about. So there was like a lot of content that wasn't getting covered at the time. Then at the time also blogging was kind of a thing, and so we started out first on Tumblr with a few columns just on general questions that would pop up, things about authenticity, like if you're a poser, things like being a poser, those kind.
Let's explore further by examining the use of poser. Poser is the modern French iteration of the word poser. It has a few definitions, but the one which fits the context of this discussion is falsely presenting oneself as belonging to a particular group. So in the goth subculture, this is used as a pejorative to imply that someone presenting themselves as a goth is not, in fact, a goth. A fake, or a phony if you will. The use of the French spelling of poser in the English-speaking goth world is a tongue-in-cheek form of satire, where the spelling of the word is itself posing as being different from what it actually is. Ah, the delicious irony.
Things, merchandise. Then we launched in things like biases, all these things that come about rock music. Things like satanism, all these things.
The National Clearinghouse on Satanic Crime in America estimates 50% of the cases of missing children and bizarre murders may be linked directly to satanic and other occult organizations.
All dark alternatives, and especially goths, were painted by this aforementioned satanic brush of the fear-mongering news stories. And soon, goths became the target of sabotage. So the goth subculture became more protective of their community than ever, and less trusting of those they could not confirm to be one of their own. Thus, the word poser was thrown about like wildfire, both protecting the goth subculture from the outside world and hindering its growth in the process. This environment fostered a very intimidating barricade for interested beginners to break through. Feeling defeated, the frustrated baby bats armored up with their retort: elitist. Although this ad hominem equipped fresh faces with a defense to the poser ad hominem, fighting fire with fire is rarely an effective method for extinguishing flames.
So we felt that there wasn't much coverage, so we decided to get into our own intense experience and then cover it. Try and meet some of these people, talk to them, find out who they are, then tell the world about it. So we launched into our first gig that night. There's a band. Was it? I think it was Dewa. Yeah, the band called Dewa, and
Okay.
Penguins.
Who are you?
I'm Manjiko
From?
from Delwa.
How was the show today?
The show was epic. But I didn't even think people could mosh to our music. Would mosh to our music. I'm like, wow. That was just epic. I'm like, I can't believe people are moshing and cheering. And
Could you just say a couple of words from that song, that Kikuyu song?
which one?
The one that you, well, there are several.
Yeah, we have like two. I think two.
Oh, okay. Well, then just say a couple of lines from any one of them. Well, Duma, yeah.
And finally Rush. So we headed out to the place. I can't remember the name of the club at the time, but probably there's a review on the site. I'll just link it below, so you check it out if you want more details. So we headed out and went for the show. I think there was a World Cup playing at the time. We got completely wasted, but we really enjoyed ourselves and met some of these guys. We met some of the fans. We met up with Chief, some of my older former classmates in high school from Jammu. So it was quite an eye-opening night, and it actually felt very cathartic to later on think about it and write it. So I did the post like 3 days after the show and talked about all these things we experienced. We were mugged the next day though.
And background, there's a lot of stuff going on. Guys are being mugged, and there's robberies going on, and cars are being stolen, and cops coming, and
So that was quite something. So we'd even met the guys from Rush that night. They've played, was it Sons of Robots? They played one of these later songs that they released much later, and I think that's the first place I met Sam Warui, and I interact. No, the first Rush member I ever met was their drummer, Sam the drummer. So that's the guy I met. We wrote about it and put it up on Tumblr. So we already at the time, the only other way you could talk to these people was on Facebook. So on Facebook there's a site called there's a page called Kenya Rock Fans. So Kenya Rock Fans had subscribers and people who generally just liked rock music, and you are from Kenya, and it had like a huge following, about 20,000 followers. So we shared the post there, and we shouted out the guys we'd met from the show. Then slowly after that, that's how it snowballed into what it is now, which is now fully fledged. It's still a blog, but we went into doing much broader content. Now we do we've been doing album reviews for all the bands locally. We cover that content. We've tried to do 1 or 2 gigs. We try and keep it simple so that we give guys a good experience. but also try not to cut corners, try and learn from some of the lessons that we've seen from over the years and try and implement them. We now have an awards show. We basically try to make it the home of all that kind of content. So a place where if you wanted to find out what music is trending at the moment or what is the latest thing, you could go there and find it. If you wanted related content, if you wanted to find out about gigs that have happened here, if you wanted to find out about more about probably some of the bands or some of the individuals that make it up, you could also go there and find that content. If you wanted music, you could go there and find it. If you wanted mixes, you could go there and find it. So we just created, eventually we came to create a web of a network of people that we know, and we try and support them, and they also support our content. So that's basically what we do. So now we cover both local and international rock, but basically still along that web of partners. So yeah, basically that's it.